Hello and welcome back to Learn English All About Sports. I'm your host, Willie, and this is episode 2 of our deep dive into the National Football League.
And I'm Tim. It's great to be back. In our last episode, we covered the basics of the NFL, how the game is played, the key rules, and the structure of the league. If you missed it, I'd recommend giving it a listen first.
Definitely, because today we're moving from the what to the who. A sport is nothing without its stars, the legendary players who change the game and capture our imaginations.
Exactly. We're going to talk about some of the icons of the sport, and we have a special focus today on a player who was larger than life, a true superstar in every sense of the word, Deion Primetime Sanders.
But before we get to primetime, Tim, I think we have to start with the position that gets all the attention. You can't talk about NFL legends without first talking about the quarterbacks.
You absolutely have to. As we said last time, the quarterback is the on-field general. They touch the ball on every offensive play. Their success is often the team's success. And when you talk about success, one name stands above all others in the modern era: Tom Brady.
The GOAT. For our listeners, GOAT is an acronym that stands for Greatest of All Time. And many people say Tom Brady is the GOAT.
The argument is almost undeniable. The man won 7 Super Bowls. To put that in perspective, no single NFL team in history has won 7. He won more championships than any franchise. That's an insane statistic. It is. And what's equally impressive is his longevity. That word, longevity, means how long something lasts. In sports, it refers to a long career. Tom Brady played until he was 45 years old at an elite level in a sport where the average career is about 3 years.
Unheard of. He was the heart of the New England Patriots dynasty for 2 decades. A dynasty is a team that dominates a sport for a long period of time.
Right. Now, before Brady, if you asked fans who the GOAT quarterback was, many would have said Joe Montana.
Joe Cool, my dad's favorite player.
A lot of people's favorite. He played for the San Francisco 49ers in the 1980s. His superpower was his calmness. He was famous for his poise, his ability to stay calm and perform under pressure.
Right. Well, people call being clutch. A clutch performance is when you succeed in a high-pressure, decisive moment of a game.
And no one was more clutch than Joe Montana. He went to 4 Super Bowls and won all 4. And in those games, he never once threw an interception. He was perfect when it mattered most.
But of course, the quarterback needs someone to throw to, and Joe Montana's main target was a man that some people argue is the true GOAT, not just of his position, but of any position.
You're talking about Jerry Rice, the wide receiver.
Exactly. Jerry Rice's statistics are just unbelievable. He holds all the major records for a wide receiver: most catches, most receiving yards, and most touchdowns, and it's not even close.
It's true. He's number 1 on the list, and number 2 is so far behind him. His records are considered unbreakable. The reason for this dominance was his legendary work ethic. Work ethic.
That's a great vocabulary word. It refers to a person's commitment to the value of hard work. Jerry Rice was famous for his intense year-round training routines.
He was always the hardest working player on the field, even in practice. That dedication is why he was so consistently great for so long.
Okay, so we've talked offense, but offense is only half the game. What about defensive legends, players who struck fear into the hearts of those amazing quarterbacks?
For that, you have to talk about Lawrence Taylor, or LT. He was a linebacker for the New York Giants, and he was a revolutionary player. That means he completely changed the way people thought about his position.
How so? What did he do that was so different?
Before LT, linebackers mostly reacted to the offense. LT attacked. He was so big, strong, and fast that offensive teams had to completely change their strategies just to try and block him. He was a true game changer.
He was intimidating, right?
Incredibly intimidating. Quarterbacks were terrified of him. He was a force of nature on the field.
Okay, so we have legendary players who were known for their winning, for their hard work, for their power. But that brings us to our main event, a player who had all of that and a personality that was even bigger.
It's time for prime time. Deion Sanders.
Let's start with that nickname, primetime. For our listeners, primetime refers to the peak viewing hours on television, usually in the evening when the biggest shows are on. So why was he called that?
because he lived for the spotlight. He believed that when the lights were brightest and the stage was biggest, that's what he would perform his best. He wasn't just a player, he was an entertainer.
And he was an incredible athlete. His position was cornerback, a defensive player whose main job is to cover the other team's best wide receiver and prevent them from catching the ball.
And Deion was what they call a shutdown corner. He was so good that quarterbacks would often not even try to throw the ball to his side of the field. He completely eliminated the other team's best receiver from the game.
And when they did throw it his way, he often made them pay. He was famous for the interception. An interception is when a defensive player catches a pass that was intended for an offensive player.
Right, and Deion didn't just intercept a ball. He had a talent for scoring touchdowns after the interception, something we call a pick six. He was a threat to score every time he touched the ball, even on defense. But Tim, his athletic skill wasn't limited to just one sport. This is one of the most amazing things about him. It's almost unbelievable. Deion Sanders was a dual sport athlete. While he was an all-star player in the NFL, he was also playing professional baseball in Major League Baseball.
At the same time, he would fly between cities to play in both sports. There's a famous story where he played in an NFL game on a Sunday, then flew to play in an MLB playoff game on a Tuesday. It's unheard of.
It just shows his incredible versatility and natural talent. Versatility is the ability to adapt and do many different things well. Deion was the definition of that.
And all this incredible talent came with an equally incredible personality. He was flashy, he was confident, he was outspoken.
He had swagger. Swagger is a great word for English learners. It means a very confident, almost arrogant way of walking or behaving. Deion had ultimate swagger. He would high step into the end zone, wear flashy jewelry, and talk a lot of trash to his opponents. But he could back it up with his play. He had this incredible charisma. Charisma is a compelling attractiveness or charm that can inspire devotion in others. People were drawn to him, fans, media, everyone. He really changed the culture of his position. He made being a defensive player cool and exciting. He proved you could be confident and outspoken and still be one of the best to ever do it.
And that charisma hasn't gone away. Today, he's a very famous college football coach, and people call him Coach Prime. He's bringing that same energy and high standard to coaching a new generation.
He's still a huge figure in the sport, which shows the lasting impact he had. He wasn't just a football player, he was a cultural icon.
What a fantastic overview, Tim. So we've talked about the undisputed GOAT quarterback Tom Brady, the clutch performer Joe Montana, the incredibly hardworking Jerry Rice, the revolutionary defender Lawrence Taylor, and the charismatic superstar Deion Sanders.
These are just a few names, of course, but they give you a great idea of the different kinds of greatness you can find in the NFL. Each one brought something unique to the game.
Absolutely. Before we sign off, let's quickly recap some of that key vocabulary for our listeners. We had GOAT, meaning greatest of all time, longevity for a long career, clutch for performing well under pressure.
We also had work ethic for commitment to hard work, revolutionary for something that changes the game, and for Deion, we had prime time, interception, swagger, and charisma.
That's a fantastic list. We hope this look at the legends of the game has given you a deeper appreciation for the NFL. And that's all the time we have for today's episode of Learn English, all about sports.
Join us next time as we shift gears completely and dive into the world of international football, or, as it's known in America, soccer. We'll be talking about the biggest tournament on the planet, the FIFA World Cup.
You won't want to miss it. Thanks for listening, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye for now.